Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. My name is Josh Lilquist, and in the last segment, we were talking about different income strategies, but also that was in the second segment. And then in the last segment, it was mutual funds, the real cost of a mutual fund, and really how devastating they can be in retirement accounts and 401ks, especially. That's where a lot of 401ks have mutual funds. But also people are having mutual funds and IRAs, and a lot of that is because the expenses that come along with them. We went off that Forbes article and we counted 6 different ones, but Al was talking about there can be up to 17 mutual fund fees, and that's really what's killing people's retirement accounts is those fees because it's lowering their rate of return. And I talked about just imagine if you had the opportunity to increase that rate of return just by eliminating that and doing it yourself. And that's some of the things we're going to talk about in this segment here. But if you did miss seats for that investing class, talk about mutual funds and retirement accounts and different opportunities that you have to protect and grow those retirement accounts, just text the word investing to the number 210 right now. I'm giving away that jumbo pack that comes along with that for people that come into this class. It's got some retirement strategies in there. So text the word investing to the number 210. You're going to get a link in a text right back with to our landing page. You can pick your own date. You're also going to receive that jumbo pack when you come into that class with retirement strategies. So in this last segment here today, I want to get into some of those barriers that are actually keeping people away from doing things themselves, from managing their own retirement accounts or really having more say in how their retirement looks in the future. And a lot of that is conditioning. And we talked about this on the show I think it was about 3-4 weeks ago, Al, is some of the barriers that are keeping people from doing it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's a barrier from getting to where you want to be financially. And a lot of it is that conditioning. We're told everywhere to go get a job and get a job that has a 401k. But really what that 401k is it's a savings account. It's taught people how to save, and there's a lot of fees and a lot of money that's flowing out of it to the managers of that fund or that 401k, whatever that may be. So it's not getting people to have enough to retire, because if that's the holy grail, if the 401k is the holy grail and the best place to be to retire, and you see everywhere in the news, everywhere, people are struggling to retire. Okay, well, if you see that and you think about, okay, well, if people are struggling to retire, we're told to go do all this. Now is the time to do things differently. So being conditioned is one of those big barriers that are getting people not able to retire on their terms. So I'll just kind of explain a couple other barriers real quickly, but how people can get over that hurdle, can cross that bridge from being where they want to be now, and then 2 to 5 years later or 10 years later, where they want to be later. How do they fill that gap is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. How do you cross the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, let me step back a minute here. People are that come in that are unhappy. Typically, they have 401ks or 403bs. And you mentioned that became the holy grail. It was never intended to be that. 401ks really were intended to be kind of a tax haven for high-paid executives years ago. People used to rely on 3 different sources for their retirement. We call it a 3-legged stool. One was Social Security, one was pensions, and the third one was your savings, your retirement savings. Now, most people don't have pensions. In fact, we are right now looking at the first generation that almost all of which don't have a pension. Basically, you're on your own. You're relying now on Social Security and your retirement savings. You can't control Social Security. You can control your savings. But 401ks, 403bs, IRAs are a lucrative, hugely lucrative business for Wall Street.
Bigly, is that what you said?
Well, we use Josh's word. It's bigly lucrative, and they're not willing to give that up. So their goal is to make you think you can't do this. It's too complicated. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough time to do it. And they've done a great job of doing that.
The big thing is if you hear it enough, people will
believe it. Right.
Yep.
And for a lot of people that maybe have tried to do something on their own and haven't done well, they fall right back into it and say Wall Street was right. But if you do something without having the right education or the right knowledge, you probably are going to fail. If you've
Hmm.
never flown a plane before and you sit in a cockpit and you try to fly it, more than likely you're going to fail. And the same thing is true with anything else, including trading and investing.
That's kind of similar when I always wanted to learn the guitar, and I always, every time I'd see a guitar, I'd pick it up and I'd fail. I'd pick it up and
Hmm.
I'd fail.
Hmm.
And you know what I did? I got lessons.
Right.
And that got me to understand what the chords are, how to actually do the progressions, and actually learn how to play guitar.
Yeah. When you got your lessons, you went and sat face to face with somebody, didn't you? And
Face to
they gave
face,
you
hands
guidance
on.
and they gave you the education or the knowledge you needed. That's what we do. That's one of the things that we have really kind of specialized in at the Online Trading Academy is providing people for you, providing people that you can sit down with that will help guide you, whether it's our instructors or people like Josh or myself or our student support specialists or other students who have done this and have done it successfully. They're more than willing to share with you. But part of that, what I'm saying is the community aspect of it, the guidance that's provided, that's huge. And one of the things that we want to do is help you develop the confidence to be able to do this so you understand number one, what are the benefits? What can you do? What are the opportunities? How do you take advantage of those opportunities? And then how to keep it simple. The simple way to do this is just to put probabilities in your favor of something working in the direction you want it to go with enough profit to do that particular trade or investment. It's not looking at how much money can I make. That's typically what is followed by failure. It's learning a process, learning something that will work on a consistent basis, then worry about the profits down the road. Protect what you have, but learn a process, learn the consistency. So, but a lot of people, now that you're relying on Social Security and whatever you have in retirement, if you're in that 401k, which is something that is basically a parking spot for your money, people basically put something together and then put it on cruise control, maybe never make a change or maybe make a few changes, crossing their fingers, hoping they've made the right choice.
Then they get to that point they want to retire, and they say, here's what they say: boy, honey, I wish we would have done something different.
Well, that's exactly right. And the majority of the people that come in say they wish they had done something different. They wish they had planned earlier. They wish they had saved earlier. And for the people that haven't gone into retirement yet, my advice is to listen to the people that are in retirement that are telling you you need to plan now.
And that goes
you
back
need to
to
do something now.
That goes back to our second and third segment, and that people say they wish they would have done something different. So then they get into the proper asset classes to use leverage to hopefully speed that up a little bit.
Well, that's exactly right. Because otherwise, if you don't know the right assets that give you the opportunity to build back quicker, build back more successfully, you're going to take more risk. If you go into retirement and you realize, I don't have enough money to get me through the next 10, 20, 30 years, maybe you take on risk that you have no business taking on because you think that's the only way to make it. You don't need to do that. In fact, you shouldn't do it. Learn how to protect what you have first, then learn how to grow it, learn how to generate income off of what you have worked hard for over those years.
Yeah, but Al, I do have some good news.
Please.
It's never too late.
It's not.
It's never too late to get started. I mean, we see a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, 70s. You were even talking about 80s. It's never too late because we're living longer. If you have goals or objectives financially, you might want to start now to do things a little bit differently. It's not new. It's just a little bit different. And that's why we have these investing classes. They're for people that are brand new to the markets, don't know a stock from a stick. They're for people that have been investing and trading for many, many years, but are looking for more consistency. That's why we have these classes. It covers both aspects of the types of people that are coming in, and we cover all the different assets, all the different leverage opportunities, retirement accounts, trading accounts. So whatever that you're looking to do with the financial markets, all you have to do is text in right now for 2 seats for this class. And these classes are great. They're during the week, during the weekends. Al teaches these. I teach these as well. And these are classes where we've taught thousands, just like you, are many strategies which are designed to teach you to make smarter investing decisions. So text right now. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for this class. Also, when you attend this class, you're going to receive the jumbo pack, which has many different techniques and strategies in the financial markets. So make sure to ask for the jumbo pack when you come into this class. Text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats. When you do that, you'll get a text right back with a link to our landing page so you can pick your own date. Everybody likes to do this from their phone. It's so much easier that way. Text investing to the number 210. We've talked about income strategies. We've talked about wealth strategies, but also you have something a little special. Let's hear today's OTA, tip of the week.
Yeah, really what we've been talking about is taking control. And remember that successful people know you're responsible for your life, no matter your starting point, your weaknesses, and your past failures. Realizing that you're responsible for what happens next can be both scary and exciting, but you have the power to accomplish what you desire. And when you accept that, that becomes the only way you can become successful, because excuses limit and prevent you from growing personally and professionally. So are you willing to spend a little extra time like most people won't, so you can spend the better part of your life like most people can't?
I like that. I mean, you kind of made me think about, people are looking for control, and very similar to sports. If a sports team is controlling the game, they're controlling the momentum, the pace of the game in any sport, it's for the outcome that they want. And they're not making excuses, like you said. Everybody has excuses. But if you control that future, you control what you're doing now, hopefully you can do that later. Text the word investing for 2 seats for an investing class, plus the jumbo pack to get started in the path that you want. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.